Finally, I have decided to continue my Badfinger video essay series with a new video talking about what I believe to be the real problem many Badfinger fans have with Joey Molland. So, the thing is, Joey is probably the most controversial member of Badfinger. His what he did always gets brought up when listening to his songs. And it seems many people have decided to create an image of Joey, and they took some of the worst deeds, some of his worst deeds throughout the years, and based Joey's entire personality and in general his music career on his so-called facts. People say that he can't write a decent song, he can't sing a decent song, and each time there's a Joey song, most people would praise Pete Ham for his guitar playing on Suitcase, or Tommy Evans is playing, or Mike Gibbons is playing on songs like the Set of Six version of Better Days, and they'll always try to avoid giving the rightfully deserved credit to Joey. So, what really is the problem? So, I think there is more than one problem actually, and the first one stems from what Ron Griffith called Joey being a bloody human being. Not a bloody human being, but Ron said in a 2015 interview that Joey got a sum of money for his so-called participation in Magic Christian music and in the recording of Come and Get It. Now the thing is, Joey wasn't even on the record. It was Ron, but chances are Joey doesn't even know who Ron is. So that's one thing. I think many people thought that Joey did that deliberately, not acknowledging Ron as an associated performer on the Ivies' recording of Come and Get It. Number two is what happened with him and Kathy, his wife, in 74. So as most of you know, End Noise, the closing track on Badfinger's 1974 self-titled album, is the only song written by a member of the band and their spouse, Joey and Kathy, writing End Noise. That was the only time in which someone not from the band itself co-wrote a song with a member. And people are mad because Kathy annoyed Pete. Thing is, Kathy didn't annoy Pete because she was a bad person. It was because she kind of had a Yoko Ono impact, but in a more positive way. Instead of making Joey drift apart, she actually tried to make the others realize that Stan Poley was a soulless bastard. She tried, along with Joey, who wrote 2 songs on the matter, Give It Up and Gotta Get Out of Here. Yet nobody believed him. Pete especially didn't believe him. Pete, according to many, was too trusting, and up until the very bitter end, he trusted Stan Poley, of course. And the thing is, Tommy Evans was actually the first member to be suspicious of Poley's actions. Already back in 1970, when the group first signed their contract with Poley, Tommy was the first one to not believe everything Poley said. Yet Tommy Evans stayed for Head First. Heck, the only 2 songs, the 2 songs on the album that are credited solely to him are 2 diss tracks to Poley. So really, people are just mad at Joey for leaving because they say that this is what sent Pete over the edge, and that he should have listened to Pete's suggestion in the song Keep Believing. He shouldn't have. Joey is probably the smartest member of Badfinger because he knew when it was time to get out of there. He did it. He tried to warn his band members. He needed his wife to warn some of the band members, and none of them listened. So you really can't blame Joey for that. Now, two more things that Joey did after the classic lineup of Badfinger broke up. Number one, in a tribute concert in 1986 along with Mike Gibbons and Bob Jackson, Joey called Tom and Pete Tom Ham and Pete Evans, just for the sake of fun. And people think that he tried to laugh at the two, to make a joke out of them. And in my opinion, when people experience such a loss, sometimes they don't show it. Sometimes they hide it using laughter or other emotions that are not sadness or heartbreak. Another thing that Joey did was to put a cease and desist order over Tommy Evans using the Badfinger name for his band. And the thing is, what Joey did was something that I really can't justify. However, Joey did have a reason. Maybe not the most convincing reason, but he did have one. According to Joey, he was just fired from the band in 1981, I think it was. Yes, in 81. He was told that Tommy Evans and Tony Kaye would be the leaders now and that they would continue without him. And there really aren't any confirmations that Tommy Evans tried to help Joey afterwards. And also, many people seem to forget that Tommy Evans really made Ron Griffith's life much more miserable, and he didn't try to keep Ron in the band. And also, Bob Jackson, when Tommy Evans was fired from the Dodgers, didn't leave immediately to actually help his friend. So really, people are just trying to find as much dirt as they can on Joey. And one last thing. The day before Tommy died, Joey called to ask for his rightfully deserved money from Without You. Now, you might not understand that, but the band, the classic lineup, Pete Ham, Joey Molland, Tom Evans, and Mike Gibbons, had an unwritten agreement with the kind of manager, Bill Collins. Stan Poley was the financial manager, and Bill Collins, I think, managed the other side of the business. They had an unwritten agreement, and based on that agreement, Joey was eligible for some money off of the Without You royalties. So he called Tommy and tried to ask for the money, but Tommy refused to. Now, we should remember that Tommy was in a worse shape than Joey because he couldn't perform under the name Badfinger, but he also did something that wasn't Joey's fault. He signed a contract with a Milwaukee manager, I think, and the gigs didn't come, and then Tommy, Bob, and Mike broke the contract, and Tom was sued for $5 million. So not everything was done by Joey. I think these are the things that most people tend to think about when Joey comes to mind. People say he can write a decent song. Please, people, separate the artist from the human being, and also do your research. Not everything Joey did was horrible. Heck, what he did, living Badfinger, was actually the best decision he could have made. Fact is, he's still alive. He knew when to quit. He quit. If it wasn't for that U.S. lawyer who Joey met, Joey would have probably stayed in Badfinger, because that lawyer told Joey that it was common knowledge that Badfinger was screwed financially. So that probably gave Joey the idea to leave the band. And to be honest, I'm grateful that he did, because he at least was smart enough to do that. And Kathy, God bless her, rest in peace, Kathy, she tried her best to also help. She tried, but because she annoyed Pete, people have a problem with her. That's funny, because people seem to ignore that Joey was the principal songwriter along with Pete. Wanna look at ass? No problem. Joey had half of the songs on S, as he contributed to the finalized album as much as Tom, Mike, and Pete did. And he had 4 extra songs that didn't make it onto the album. So really, Joey could have gone solo already in 73 and just put out an album. And he didn't. He stuck around until he knew it was too late. Pete, okay, he didn't listen to Pete's suggestion. Did he have to? Did Tom and Pete write most of the songs? Wrong. Tommy only contributed 2 songs usually per album. Probably had an extra outtake sometimes, but really, Joey is underrated as a member of Badfinger. Not everything he did was that horrible. I'm sorry, but really, I think I already explained myself. Thank you very much.